I wanted to do 220 dates. Just take a year off of everything, hop on a bus, do a full WWE calendar, and like totally say goodbye. Thank goodness that the business isn't like that anymore. Because I would be, if you took a gingerbread man, just broke him, I'd be done. They only needed me for 36.
It seems the Heels Advocate has to make another video because John Cena literally admits that the WWE doesn't know what they are doing, that the WWE has ruined his last time is now tour, his final year in the WWE. Just like you heard, he said he wanted to do a full calendar year, 220 dates. And then, like, John is like being kayfabe humble, like, oh my God, thank God I didn't do that because my body can barely. Bro, you had 36 dates, okay? And out of those 36 dates, you wrestled 5 matches, okay? Let's be real, okay? The most work that John Cena had to put in was traveling, bro, okay? How many times has John Cena not shown up this year to cut a whack-ass promo and then dip, okay? Let's be real about it. The heel run was pretty much starting the year off on the right note. We all agree to the fact that that was exactly what we needed to see happen in the last time is now tour, the final year of John Cena. We can say, well, here we go. Here is the heel turn. Now, I will, talk about how they botched it in a little bit, but the fact that John Cena can just come out here and say that, he wanted to do 220 days, while the WWE only wanted him for 36. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is to not have John Cena actively saying goodbye as properly as he could in his last year? No, instead of that, we have him show up, right? January, he was barely there. February, he was barely there. March, boom, he's in the chamber. He wins the chamber. He turns heel, and then he's gone for another 3 weeks. And then he shows up in Brussels, then Scotland, then Liverpool or London or whatever the hell it was. And then he goes to Italy, and then boom, 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 and then he goes back to wherever in America, and then he starts off his feud with Cody. He beats him at Mania, and then Cody disappears for 4 months, and then Cena has a one-off match against Randy Orton that. It was cool at first, but then you realize, oh my God, like, are they only going to have John Cena wrestle one time against all these guys? And then it went from Orton to CM Punk. That was also a one-off match. We could have had a proper program with it. We didn't. And now from CM Punk, we went to, once again, Cody Rhodes. And then with Cody Rhodes, right? John Cena had tag teamed up with Logan Paul against Cody and Jey Uso. Like, bro, I will tear down the entire year one by one, but let's just focus on what we first have in store for us, okay? So John Cena literally was like, okay, now, Kampfa der General, Editor Zach, please hit his music. Kanta der General, Kanta. Dum 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 da 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 yang 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 yang. Oh my God, bro. The only redeeming quality, bro, about Gunther being his last opponent is that I can meme this, bro. That's the only thing that's good about this shit, bro. Come on, bro. So he goes on to say, after Gunther won his match against LA Knight, so he was like, the stage is set for one last match. On a night of epic proportions, it is an honor to face off against an opponent who I respect and who has earned the right to issue this final challenge. I will bring my best. I know he will do the same. Don't miss the final time. SNME, and then with the John Cena thing, and then at Peacock, right? So there's, pretty much this whole idea, right? Where John Cena is like, oh yeah, I wanted to do 220 dates, but I only got 36 dates. This is the second time, okay, ever since SummerSlam, where John Cena literally took it to Twitter. All right. You know how John Cena was like, hey, Rock, you say you bring it, but you bring it via satellite. You know what I'm saying? You know that shirt that he made? Like, look right here. I bring it via satellite. That is what he's doing, bro. This is something that he clowned The Rock for, but he's doing the same thing. Okay, so that is like what we're working here with. You mean to tell me John Cena couldn't come out, right? Now, like right now, I'm just focusing on the fact that the WWE gave him 36 dates. The WWE, right, rather has a tweet out of John Cena than John Cena literally sitting ringside, watching this match unfold. And the winner, right, Gunther, obviously, he gets his hands raised, and then John Cena, he walks into the ring, and then he stares down with Gunther. Why could we not have that? Why couldn't we not have that? Because this will do just fine, and I'm sure it will. Like the fact that John Cena, if he were to sit ringside and make a clip out of the moment, you know, would that move the bottom line more? I don't know. I think it does. You know, I always will say that if a promotion is good, if the lead up is good, if the content surrounding it is vast and wide, and they go in depth and they really try, I think that really brings in more people. And at the very least, if it doesn't bring more people in, the people that are already invested, they will become more emotionally magnified, and obviously, you know, it will have a better crowd in the arena. So, like I said, so for example, right here, John Cena said, I want to do 220. I only got 36, and that will be just fine. And like he got a cut with this like BS, like, bro. Like all of this like humble BS, bro. Like all this humble pie, I'm sick of it, bro. So then even, for example, his father is like, bro, Gunther, really? Right? Now, look, I agree to the fact that Gunther is kind of like a laughable last opponent for John Cena, considering everything, you know, in the vastness of the wrestling universe. To have to see Gunther retire, quote unquote, retire Goldberg, and then John Cena's like, bro, what the hell? Like, we don't got nobody. And the reality is, we don't got anybody else, right? So we got to work with what we got, and Gunther is what we have right now. But that doesn't take away from the fact that people will voice their opinions about this horrible pick, this horrible tournament, this horrible final year, and this horrible way of booking his final match, right? He's literally going to wrestle him in about a week. And that's it. We're done with John Cena. We're literally at the final time. That is sad. So, for example, John Cena's father, he came out and he said like, pretty much like Gunther shouldn't be worthy.
And if you had to choose one, who would it be for that last opponent at Saturday night's main event?
Well, it certainly would be Gunther, that's for sure. I don't think that that's a wise move. I don't think the fans would enjoy that move. Myself personally, Gunther does not need the rub. And by the way, I'm not a fan of on the way out, you've got to push somebody over the top. You're supposed to pass, quote unquote, the torch. I don't know whether that's written anywhere in professional wrestling. If we have to use that as an analogy, then he's already done that with Cody Rhodes.
And if you had to choose one,
that is a very wise thing John Cena's father just said. He already did it with Cody Rhodes. And like I said, you guys, like I said in the beginning of the video, literally ever since SummerSlam, John Cena has brought it via Twitter. You know what I'm saying? He has brought it via satellite. So he has been absent ever since SummerSlam. That has been 4 months ago, okay? 4 months. All we've gotten out of Cena was he appeared, I think he appeared his final time on SmackDown, final time on Raw, and then Lesnar and AJ. In the 4 months, okay, then once against Dominic, and then Survivor Series. Yeah, so he's shown up 6 times. In 4 months, John Cena has shown up 6 times. And the idea that on the final match of his career, he's got to put over this young talent, which is not really that young. Gunther is 39 years old, by the way. So like the fact that he's got to do that is laughable. All right. And the idea that simply beating John Cena is putting you over is ludicrous. You know, for example, do we look at Austin Theory and say, oh my God, he's such a big star now? We don't. Okay. So clearly, having this one-off victory over somebody like Cena doesn't put you over. But can we say that the feud that John Cena has had against Cody Rhodes has put Cody over? Hell yeah. I mean, for better or worse, right now, forget about right now. In that moment, Cody and Cena, they were the undisputed main event of WrestleMania. And so clearly the position that they held on the card signifies the magnitude of the feud, signifies the magnitude of that storyline, and the potential winner out of that whole storyline will become bigger than what they were going into it. I think we can all agree on that. But for example, that doesn't apply to Austin Theory, because Austin Theory, he didn't have that WrestleMania moment. He didn't have that SummerSlam moment. He didn't have that continuous beef. And it didn't feel like WWE was better with a feud with, like, John Cena and the up-and-comer. We didn't really feel like we had that type of moment with Austin Theory. And the same can be said for Solo Sikoa. If you guys remember, this was like a shock value moment in the WWE where just like Undertaker lost clean to this like up and coming rookie. It's just one of those things, right? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Lord Tensai beat John Cena as well? Right? So, like, for example, Lord Tensai defeated him. Did this make Lord Tensai a bigger name? Hell no, bro. So, like, this is the bottom line that I want to get at right now. Yeah. For example, John Cena's father's coming out and saying, like, look, on the final match, the idea that he has to lose is ludicrous because, like, the term putting somebody over, let's just kind of stick to the meaning of that, which is, does it actually put over Gunther? Right? Is this going to make Gunther feel bigger than he actually is? If this tournament had happened, let's just say in October, and then the entirety of October and November we build up to the final match with John Cena. So instead of like having John Cena job out to Dominic Mysterio and got powerbomb, like just got beaten down by 3 chicks, right? The fact that Roxanne Perez and Rodriguez and Liv Morgan attacked John Cena and beat him down in his last ever pay-per-view match is actually just so disrespectful. But that's besides the point. Instead of that, we could have had Gunther and John Cena feuding, and we could have built up to the Saturday Night's Main Event Last Time Is Now match. And then we could say, all right, they tried to have a feud. They tried to put him over. They had a match. Gunther, I think Gunther will probably put a submission hold on John Cena, like a chokehold, and John Cena will not tap, and he will just pass out, and that will be it, right? I think that will be the way that Gunther will beat John Cena. So we'll see what happens in that. But yeah, I mean, we could have had that instead of like this like whole like BS with the Judgment Day. So definitely John Cena's father is right when he said this, and it is very clear that there is a lot of frustrations with OGs in the WWE. Like for example, Rikishi, he had a lot of things to say about Jey Uso, rightfully so, right? How do you put the title on the guy after pushing him for the entire, first half of the year? He wins the title, and then you take the title off of him after 50 days, just to put it back on Gunther, who already held it for like a year. So clearly there's something like really, really wrong going on with the WWE, whether it be lack of pushing stars, lack of actually honoring power scaling or legitimacy. Stuff feels weird nowadays, okay? And now even John Cena was like, look, man, my father, he can have his opinions on, whatever the hell, but at the end of the day, this is what makes wrestling, right? We cannot be like, oh yeah, my father should, shut the hell up and keep quiet, because that is what makes him him. So he was recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he pretty much reacted to what his dad said, right? There's some shit that he'll say that's all fucked up. He said some shit yesterday, like, oh, I was like, oh my god, that shouldn't be John Cena's last opponent. I want to call my dad and be like, what the fuck are you doing? But then John is like, but that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? That's my dad, right? So let's just see what it says.
And deciding to meet my dad where he's at and be like, dude, whatever I thought you were, you're not. You're just you. And I love you for you. And man, when we sit, there's some shit that he'll say that's all fucked up. He said some shit yesterday that like, I don't think John's last opponent should be there. And people listen to him because he's a wrestling fan. He's like in the kind of like the weird subculture zeitgeist. And I want to call my dad and be like, what the fuck are you doing? But then like, no, he's doing what he does. This is him. Yeah. This is the this is the John Cena I love. This is the guy I can sit down with, and part of that is being able to process all that, but the opportunity I get from this.
And the opportunity is just acknowledging the fact that I can work with that heat. I can work with that momentum. I can work with that opinion that gets spread around, and I can try and make Gunther look better than what he is. And I genuinely appreciate John Cena for saying that. And I really like that John Cena's heart is in that way, right? He's not bitter. He's not like his father. Obviously, like his father can have his own opinion, and respect to him. He feels the way that he does, rightfully so. But regardless, it is John Cena's job to make it interesting. Now, let me come back to the original point of this video at the beginning, okay? It is John Cena's job to make it interesting. How can he make this interesting with 36 dates? The guy literally asked for 220, right? Oh, and now they're going to have suddenly a match. Gunther is going to go out there and beat him. Nobody's going to care. Why? Because there is no incentive for us to care, right? With Cody and Cena turned heel. The Rock was involved. Travis Scott was a big fiasco. But that being so bad, Travis Scott being involved was so horrible, that generated an emotion, and an emotion means money. An emotion means investment. If people have no emotions, you flop. Simple as that. But so clearly with Cody and Cena, there was emotion, there was involvement, there was, building up a story, there was a payoff, and like boom, a big spectacle. How are you going to do that for your literal final match and you haven't been around to promote it properly? This is your final match, right? And this is like John Cena saying it. Other wrestlers like Terry Funk, Ric Flair, Undertaker, they can all say, oh yeah, it's my last match, but then they're always back. And then so it diminishes it. John Cena, he's sick and tired of wrestling. Let's be real about it, bro. He's sick and tired of wrestling. He's sick and tired of all these marks. He's trying to go into Hollywood. He's trying to make movies with Margot Robbie. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to have a good time, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's done, bro. He's done. You think he wants to be around a bunch of circus clown fat asses? No, man. He wants to go to Hollywood. He wants to be proper. He wants to be around A-list celebrities because he is an A-list celebrity, bro. I mean, come on, man. Like, he spent 20 years building up to that level. You think he wants to spend his final years on Earth around a bunch of mid-card jobbers like freaking Solo Sikoa, bro? Or like the MFTs? Are you kidding me, bro? He's earned his right to be around Denzel Washington. He's earned his right to be around Dwayne, Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan, and all these people. The DCU, you know what I'm saying? He's earned the right. So he clearly wants to get out of here. But nonetheless, this is still your last time match. And I believe John Cena when he says it. He's one of those guys that probably will keep his words. So when he says it's his final match, how can we not have a proper build-up? If you look at the entire calendar year, from January up until August, that was the most active John Cena was in WWE. From August up until December, bro, he at best had 10 appearances, 4 matches. That's it. 4 months, 4 matches, 1 match a month. And like, there is not like only like, four shows a month. You got SmackDown, Raw, and then a PLE. So that's 4. That's 9. So 9 times 4 is 36. And out of those 36, he's only had 4 matches. Crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And he only appeared 4 times as well. Or 5 times. Let's be real about it. It's a joke. To be honest, right? Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena put over Dominic more than Gunther beating John Cena ever will. Whether or not Gunther beats him clean or not is besides the point. I don't think it will do him any favors just because of the fact that there is not a proper build-up. Like I said, it's just him coming at you via Twitter, and even the match that he had against AJ Styles, as fun as it was for that match in isolation, the reason why we got that was so ludicrous, bro. Like, he comes out on Twitter and he says this. He's like, I don't choose my opponents, but even if I did through tough times, I will always listen to the fans. AJ Styles, are you listening? Better yet, Triple H, are you listening? And then AJ's like, I am listening. And then Triple H's like, all right, let's make it happen. It's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the numbers, AJ's reply did, 3 million. His did 12 million. That's big, right? John Cena, actually using social media like a normal person and for what is actually intended, instead of like him posting like the fucking left pubic hair of a dog, and then we gotta fucking try and find the meaning of that shit. Like, that gets annoying. You know what I'm saying? But like, regardless, this did a lot of numbers, but it is not the right way to do it, because we look like we are losing the value of Cena's last moments. And there's no other way for me to say this, but Gunther and John Cena is completely a scam. All right, like John Cena, like by doing this, inevitably exposed that like the WWE ruined it. Triple H ruined it, and this proves it, right? Even this right here, like better yet, Triple H, are you listening? This right here is kayfabe, but even in kayfabe, they are playing into the notion of what people have been saying. So them playing into it solidifies and legitimizes the outrage or the public opinion about this particular thing, which is Triple H isn't listening, and Triple H as head of creative has ruined this last year. Okay, what was this year supposed to be? It was supposed to be the breakout year of Jey Uso. He broke out at WrestleMania, and then they buried him. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. We didn't get anything else out of this, did we? Did we really get anything out of that? No. So why did you do it? It's a waste of time. It's kind of like making Austin Theory the Money in the Bank champion. He fails to cash in, and then he wins a title in he fails to cash in for the world title, and then he fails to cash in for the United States championship. But literally, the United States had an open challenge, so why even try and cash in on that? It's ludicrous. It's BS. And then John Cena, even his father is upset, and even John Cena coming out and like dropping a tweet like this. 1 million views. It's kind of like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing at this point? I'm sick and tired of it. I don't think we can all come out and say this is any good, because it isn't. All right, it really isn't. It sucks, and I hope that I hope that we can just make this better, because I'm over it. All right, I'm the Heels Advocate, and I'm out.